All right, so story 3 of the open road. We're going to talk about Harley Davidson rides and crazy shit that I've seen across the country and actually across all the way to Alaska. So let's get to it. So the third installment of the story was about 2016. I shipped my bike to Los Angeles just to kind of take my time going all the way home. And I go across Los Angeles to Las Vegas, and I train there for a little while with Stan and a couple other guys. And then I go across into Arizona, and I find the old parts of Route 66. And it was amazing because it's going through old Indian reservations and ran down gas stations that are no longer open. It looks like literally just time left it behind from the new interstates coming in. I get into Flagstaff, Arizona, and it's snowing. Now it's probably the end of April, almost May, but Flagstaff's pretty high elevation. It's snowing, and I'm worried about it being icy because on a motorcycle and ice don't mix. Fortunate enough for me, it was just a little bit of snow, and it didn't even accumulate on the road. It was just starting to spit a little bit. So somebody that knew me on Instagram allowed me to stay at their house, and so I didn't have to get a hotel that night, which was great. And they were big into like off-road vehicles and sand rails, and they had all kinds of cool off-road toys. And the next morning I wake up at about 4 a.m. Now keep in mind that I'm on East Coast time, so 4 a.m. is like 6 a.m. there, so it's my normal wake-up time. So I get up at 4 a.m. and I start packing all my shit, and I get my bike loaded, and I take off, and it's 40 degrees outside without any sun up. I mean, it's cold. And I'm riding through the mountains of Arizona, and I find this road, and a lot of times when I take these trips, I look at the map and I know directions, but I try not to follow literally like an actual schedule. I just take off and just cowboy the shit, which can be really dangerous out west because you could go hundreds of miles without a gas station or any place to eat, stuff like that. So I'm rolling my way through this cavern in this road that's built through the mountains in Arizona, and I pop out on Interstate 10, which is the lowest interstate in the 48. So I pop on that, and it takes me into New Mexico, and I see that Roswell and all this stuff, out there, but it's too far away to go see. So I'm just like, whatever, I'll go to El Paso. Well, El Paso, if you don't know this, Interstate 10, when you get into El Paso, if you're on the left, you're in El Paso, the interstate. If you're on the right, you're in Juarez. Now, let me tell you, you would think that the most affluent Mexicans would live right next to the border. No. This place literally looks like I was in somewhere in Ethiopia. It was like they used like roofing for the sides of houses, and it looked like shacks everywhere. And you're looking on this side of the freeway, and you're just thinking, oh my God, this is connected to the United States. You don't realize, like, I've seen Chicago, I've seen Gary, Indiana, I've seen Cleveland, I've even seen Detroit. When you look at Juarez, Mexico on Interstate 10 over to the right, it's unbelievable how dirty and what kind of conditions those people live in that are literally 50 steps away from being in American soil. And it's also very scary because I've done a lot of work with Border Patrol, and I realize that how much of the drug shipments and the cartels play a huge role in that border and control a lot of people. So for those of you that don't know, what ends up happening is that people that have very poor backgrounds or poor, records from the Mexican government, they really are very hard to get jobs, just like it would be here if you had a felony, right? So what the cartels do is get a hold of these people, and they have them drug run. And then what they do is when they make it across the border with all these drugs, they might get, taken down with automatic rifles, not getting fired at, but being pointed at and being threatened. And then we pick them up, we take them to Border Patrol agency, we book them, and then within 24 hours, we just take them back to Mexico, and they don't have any record. We don't put them in our prisons or anything. Well, 2-3 days later, they're coming right across the border again with more drugs. So a lot of people don't know this, but what they do is they use the same person over and over again. And then what the Border Patrol was telling me is that these guys, once they get busted, say 3, 4, 5 times in a month or 2 months, the cartels just kill them because they're wasting too much product. Because we don't keep the person, but we take the drugs. Well, after you lose a cartel, thousands and thousands of dollars, they're going to have your ass. So what's funny is they said you'll see the same person running over across the border delivering these drugs, and we pick them up 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 times, and then after that they just disappear, and they're dead. It's just crazy. And when I was working for Border Patrol, I didn't see that Tucson sector, or I didn't see the El Paso sector. I worked in Tucson. So when I worked in Tucson sector, I didn't really get to see the border much. I was just close to it. But when you're going through El Paso on Interstate 10, you can see Mexico, America, and it's just like, what is going on here? It's totally crazy. But yeah, if you ever get a chance and you like to do trips, I would definitely go across 10 and see right where El Paso goes into Texas. And you definitely want to take your car or motorcycle across Texas completely from west to east. I don't remember the exact number, but I remember when I was coming from west to east, and when I crossed over from Texas into Louisiana, I saw exit 998. There are 998 exits across Interstate 10 in Texas. That's how big Texas is. It was like 1,080 miles, or it was something crazy like that. I mean, to give you an example, if you're in Columbus, Ohio, it's the same distance to go to like Orlando, one state. I mean, just totally insane. So hopefully you guys like this story. If you guys want to, go check out wenningstrength.com. But we just wanted to throw out some stuff that's like personal information for you guys.